So I'm here with Edward of MindBodyEsports after Team Liquid's win in the 1-1 bracket. So people might know you for your resume with what you've done with previous teams, but they might not know exactly what your work is. You know, some call you a sports psychologist, but you don't like to use that term yourself. How would you explain what you do?
Well, I'm not a sports psychologist, so that's why I don't like that term. I am a mind-body medicine practitioner. It's a different form of education. It overlaps with psychology, and sports psychology pulls a lot of elements from psychology, but we deal with the whole body, the mind, nutrition, movement, mental health, all of the above.
Nice. So how's it been working with Team Liquid over the past few months?
It's a pretty broad question. It's been great in a lot of ways. These guys are really incredible people. The organization's fantastic, the leadership's fantastic. I think we're all on the same page for what we want and driving the ship together. You know, there's always bumps along the way, but so far it's been a great trip so far.
So Cadian's previous team, Heroic, from the outside looking in, was one of the most tightly knit groups. He seemed to have a brotherhood with his other four members. I was wondering if that's the type of leadership you're trying to instill in the new Team Liquid, or if there's a different sort of system going on there.
Yeah, I think that's certainly what we're aiming for, and that's why we started with the retreat without PCs. And the group understands that the more we are like that, the better we're going to be on the server together. So there's a lot of brotherhood and friendly development, but it's still a game. We're still focused on Counter-Strike. That's the number one priority.
So with this Team Liquid team, there's four really strong players who had their HLTV top 20 pickups, and then you also have skullz, who's sort of on the quieter side, who's picked up as an upcoming talent for Liquid. How is it working with him and trying to adjust with working with these big names?
He's been a sponge so far. It's been great working with Felipe, skullz. Really sweet, really open, direct and honest and kind, really great talent. I think it's important for us to just continue to put him in the right position so they can thrive. I think we're doing a good job of that, but he's not just taking a back seat. We really are striving for equality on the team. He speaks up, he uses his mind, and I think he's doing really well with what he's doing to grow with the group.
When you were working with G2, you said that with Monazi, he kind of had a role model in Nico, and those two worked really well together. Does Felipe have someone like that on the team?
It's a good question. Yeah, certainly Russell Twist is someone who he looked up to before he came here, and even seeing them develop that relationship early on, I think that's a really nice mentor-mentee relationship that they formed. He's doing a good job of learning from everyone, but I certainly see him and Russell bonding really well together.
And so after a close loss like yesterday's against Furia, how do you come into play, or the teachings you've instilled in the team after a really tough situation like that?
We're building a resilient group. So our resiliency showed yesterday. We weren't tilted from that loss. I think they were certainly critical of the mistakes that they made, but in the review, there was no finger pointing or trying to assess blame. I think they were pretty good at accepting accountability and finding the objective things that we need to improve upon. And again, that's pretty game related, so we're focused on improving the in-game aspects.
So going back in time, you worked with the Nouns organization for a little bit, both on the Dota side and the CS2 side, I believe. How was it working with that team, as they were here until their unfortunate elimination yesterday?
So Rush and I, Will, both worked with the CS team. Rush was kind of their point person, along with Demonte, who's a League of Legends guy. He worked a lot with them as well. I was specifically with the Dota team, but I did kind of consult and help with the CS team as well. It was actually the first time I've met them in person, was here at this event, so it was really nice to meet them. I was hoping for some better outcomes for them. I know how hard they've worked and made some changes to get here. That's a great organization, great people, Sasquatch and all below him, Semphis and all those guys, really good guys. I believe in their long-term project. I think they have a good group of people working towards a good long-term vision.
And moving back even previously in time, we're working backwards chronologically here. You worked with Evil Geniuses, specifically with their League of Legends team, but you also said that the Counter-Strike team wanted to work with you, but there were some roadblocks in the way. Could you speak to that?
So I had some players on the CS team that I had worked with previously and was close with, had some good relationships with. Automatic was one of my private clients for a little while. Tim and I worked well together. I believe what happened was they were needing some outside help, and perhaps management put a block to that for whatever reason. They weren't interested in offering them more resources at that time.
Okay, thank you. That's all. And good prep for the 2-1 match.